Meditation from the larger Catechism this morning is focused on question number 89, which reads as follows. What shall be done to the wicked at the day of judgment? The answer to the Catechism is, at the day of judgment, the wicked shall be set on Christ's left hand, and upon clear evidence and full conviction of their own consciences, shall have the fearful but just sentence of condemnation pronounced against them. And thereupon shall be cast out from the favorable presence of God and the glorious fellowship with Christ, His saints, and all His holy angels, into hell, to be punished with unspeakable torments, both of body and soul, with the devil and his angels forever. In our meditation on the Catechism, we've considered the resurrection of the dead and the judgment to come. We now look at the final judgment when all mankind appears before God. God separates the righteous from the wicked, and here our question focuses on what will occur with regard to those who are yet wicked, who yet remain in their sins, who have gone through this life and have failed to rest in Christ and in Him alone for their salvation. What becomes of the wicked? We are all wicked sinners. We all are in need of grace, but those of us who have been joined to Christ through faith are spared this part of the final judgment. But the wicked, those who have not received Christ as their mediator, who stand on their own, nonetheless will appear before God for judgment. They are set on Christ's left hand. You want to be careful where you stand on that last day. They stand on Christ's left hand, where they will be examined for their lives. And the Catechism focuses on the fact that there will be clear evidence on the basis of their life, how they lived, and also full conviction from their own consciences as to their own personal guilt. In this life, the wicked may have rebelled against God, hardened their conscience, may have felt that all will be well with them. But when they appear before God, who sees them fully and completely, before whom nothing will be hidden, when they are examined before that final throne of judgment, then their consciences will cry out against them and be a witness against themselves of their own guilt and their own sin. They will have nothing to say to God when He accuses them of sin. Finds them wicked. Their own consciences will speak out against them. And then, having seen clear evidence of their guilt and witnessing themselves to their own sin, they will hear that fearful but just sentence of condemnation pronounced against them. What a horrible moment that will be. To hear God say to them, you are guilty, and you will be condemned. You will be cast into eternal hell forever and ever to pay for your sin. You have sinned against a holy God, an infinite, eternal God, who has only done good to you, who's been kind and loving and gracious to you. Yet you have sinned persistently in thought, word, and deed throughout the course of your life, from beginning the earliest times of your youth till the very end of life. You've persisted in sin and rebellion, and so you will therefore be judged and condemned, cast into hell. There will be no answer to that judgment. There will be no second chance, no opportunity to review and to amend. It will be a final judgment with no second chances, no appeals courts, nothing that would remain. They'll be cast out of the favorable presence of God. Hell is absence from God's presence, absence from His blessing. Hell is being left to one's own sin, and all the wrath of God being poured out upon that individual. Hell is being cast out. You recall Jesus told the parable of Abraham and Lazarus, and the rich man and Lazarus rather, and the rich man was cast into hell, and Lazarus was brought into Abraham's bosom, And there was a great gulf between the two. No one could pass from one side to the next. The wicked will be set apart for the wrath of God. They will be set apart from the glorious fellowship of Christ and the saints and all the holy angels. It may be, and I don't know, but perhaps they will see. Part of hell will be the fact that they will see the glories and the blessings of the people of God in that heavenly realm. And they themselves set apart from that, excluded. And no mercy will be shown to them. They'll be punished with unspeakable torments. Jesus speaks of the worm that dies not, the clenching of teeth, gnashing of teeth. This will be the state of the wicked. And it's not merely an emotional, mental experience, but both body and soul will participate in that torment forever and ever. Their companions will be the devil and his angels forever. Certainly a very fearful description of the end, and one which modern man wishes to keep silence or remove from our attention. We want to have pleasant things, joyful messages of hope. But the Scriptures are very clear about the wrath of God for sin. And we need to hear what they have to say, so that we would be warned in this life. For today is the day of salvation. Today there's yet hope. Today, if you turn from sin and rest in Christ, you may be spared this horrible future. This is the moment of salvation. Now is the time. And everyone everywhere must hear the warning and turn and embrace Christ alone for salvation. This is why we talk about salvation. This is what we are being saved from. That's why it is so important that we plead with the ungodly to turn from their sins, turn from the godlessness, the wickedness, and rest in Christ alone.